It was the end of April, first part of May. I can tell you an exact date if you need it.
That's okay. And then, do you recall when it expires?
6 months from then, so it would be October, I believe. Let me tell you exactly when I filed it. It looks like
October 30 expiration.
yes, that sounds right.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. So Crystal, let's talk about the date of June 1st of this year.
Mhm.
Do you recall that date?
I do.
All right. Were you home on that date?
I was not.
Okay, where were you?
I was in Australia.
All right, and what happened on that day?
I was in Australia, time difference, obviously. My daughter called me in a panic because her room is on the front side of the home. And she saw Kayla's vehicle in front of our home. And what we thought was a male walking up to our house. Kayla has in other court hearings said it was not, it was a female. Um, it was a ways away. So, they were coming to serve she was contesting the PPO, so the paperwork for that. So,
And,
mhm.
and were you on just regular phone call? Were you on video
FaceTime.
call? Were you texting?
Well, she called me regular first, and because my service, we were in the mountains, it wasn't coming in, so I got to a cafe, and I put her on FaceTime.
Okay. And what could you see on FaceTime?
Kayla's vehicle outside my home.
Okay, so it wasn't facing your daughter, it was facing out towards the street?
I object.
What's the objection, Ms. Morse?
I never parked or put my car in park.
Okay, well, nonetheless, that is an objection. You can cross-examine her
Okay.
on that with questions, but
Thanks, Your Honor.
that's not an objection. I'll allow the testimony. The objection's overruled. You may proceed.
Thank you.
So you could see out, it wasn't, sometimes when people FaceTime, it's pointed towards the person you're talking to. Your
So
daughter had.
yes, her phone was facing out the window. She showed me out the window.
All right, and did you recognize Miss Morrissey's car?
Yes,
Okay, was there anybody else at the home at this time?
there was a number of people. It was my daughter, her best friend, my sister-in-law, and then my nanny,
All right, and what is your nanny's name?
Stephanie Farr.
Okay. And she was present the entire time, as far as
She
you
was.
know?
Yes, everybody was present the entire time.
Okay. All right, and then I'm going to show something that, Your Honor, I'd like marked as proposed Exhibit 1. It's just a Google Street View. So Crystal, I am sharing what I have marked as, Prosecutor proposed Exhibit 1. Do you know what this is a picture of?
That is a picture of where I live. My home being the one that is marked in red.
Okay, and is this a true and accurate picture of a map of the streets in front of your house?
It is.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, I'd move to admit this as Exhibit 1.
Any objection to the aerial view as Exhibit 1, Ms. Morrissey?
The aerial view will not show anything, so I do not believe that it is a visual, that it has any visual bearing. So yeah, I would say I object to the aerial in terms of being able to see anything on there. I cannot confirm that that is where she lives.
Okay, well, I will overrule the objection. It appears to be a Google representation of the location. However, you may cross-examine on that topic as well, Ms. Morrissey.
Okay, thanks, Your Honor.
So it may be admitted.
And then, okay, so I believe actually that I have no more questions for Crystal at this time.
Very well. Any cross-examination, Ms. Morrissey?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
So the reason I came today, I also wanted to disclose to you, it looks like there was a motion to terminate on the 28th. I did send some evidence to Lisa. I had court that day with Engel. So it wasn't that I just didn't show up. I most certainly would have wanted to terminate this at Crystal's request, because I think this is unnecessary time in the court. But my cross-examination is that Crystal said that that the person that I had at process serve, for one, I was not within a certain amount of feet of her home. The car was
Objection,
never
Your Honor, I
stopped.
don't hear a
Okay, you have
question.
to form it like a question, Miss Morrissey, to ask
Okay,
if Miss Crystal, Miss
okay,
Ranger has
yes.
information.
Um, okay, sorry about that, Your Honor. Crystal, did you call my phone on the 24th, you and your son, over 8 times after I was discharged from the hospital, Trinity Health, for the assault from your ex-husband?
I have never called your phone because I did not have your phone number. And what does that have to do with this case? This has nothing to do with a PPO violation.
What it has to do,
I called your father and your sister, not you. You got on the phone. If you would have came to the evidentiary hearing, you would have had the recordings that I collected.
so my point here is that it's perjurous. I have all of these phone calls, Your Honor. I've already admitted them. If you didn't get them, I can resend them.
Do
I
they
did-
have
Your
anything
Honor,
to do with this
you have
violation?
objection.
This has nothing to do with the case.
Okay, so did you say that the person that was process serving stood outside your house and was cussing out your daughter?
I did not say
yelling
that.
profanity?
I did
Okay,
not say
so at
that.
our,
So
so at
read,
our last hearing.
okay, so you need to read what I
you did
said
not
before
say
you
that.
ask me that, because I did not say that. That's incorrect. Read what's in front of you. It was all served to you.
Your Honor, not at the last meeting where I was with Engel, but she did mention that in the first meeting. That was my biggest concern. I was not within a certain amount of feet, but I have a witness with me today to testify because
Okay,
she did
well,
say
I'm gonna
that.
get to you too with your witness, but do you have any more questions for Miss Ranger?
Yes, Miss Ranger, have I ever threatened you? Have I ever called you? Have I ever emailed you? Have I ever had any communication with you whatsoever?
Yes, you have.
Okay, that's it. I object.
Okay,
That is
Okay.
not accurate.
all right.
Okay.
Well, and Miss Ranger, you do have some additional restricted, one of your violations is restricted calls from Miss Morrissey threatening you. Are you not raising those as an issue today? Are you sticking just to the service?
I mean, what I was told, I would have given the prosecutor all of the evidence for the PPO that I had for the evidentiary hearing because I gave it to the clerk that day on a zip drive. I didn't know we were talking about the evidentiary hearing because she didn't show up.
Okay, no, I
So are we
got
talking about the PPO violation or are we talking
yeah, the
about?
violation. Yes, yeah, in
Okay, so
violation.
the
So these would be,
violation, she came to my house, she admitted 2 other court dates, she admitted to it. So that's what I thought we're here for. If you need the
Not
evidence,
guilty plea. It's been a
Okay.
not-guilty plea.
Well,
So I
right,
object.
and you did enter a not guilty plea, Ms. Morrissey,
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
the last line here says and restricted calls from her threatening me. I
yes,
took it that was part of the violation.
yes, she has
You
called
did
my
not
phone
mention
multiple
that. I've
times.
never called her once, so I object to that. I have never
Okay.
called her.
Well, it doesn't sound like that's going to be an issue today. It sounds like we're just going
Exactly.
forward
I
on
want
the
space from
service.
her and I want peace from this, Your Honor. It's absolutely not okay.
All right. Well, any further questions, I guess, for Ms. Ranger from you, Ms. Morrissey?
At this time, no, Your
All
Honor.
right. Ms. Ranger, is Ledgestone Drive a private or a public street?
Private.
Okay, it says private like at the
It's-
entrance
it-
to the drive.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a like a condo association or homeowners association that pays to plow it and all that stuff?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Ms. McNabb, any follow-up questions?
Just very briefly, Your Honor, since the phone calls were brought up. Crystal, have you been getting calls from unknown numbers or texts from unknown numbers?
Yeah, continuously since I filed the PPO.
Okay,
Obviously, they're unknown.
I object to that. I've never tried to reach out to her. In fact, I have
She's not-
anxiety and I'm
Okay, I
intimidated.
can take your testimony on that, Ms. Morrissey, but
Sorry,
the
Your Honor.
objection is, it has to be on an evidentiary basis. So she can testify she's getting these unknown numbers, but it sounds
Okay,
like
sounds good,
she's
Your
not
Honor.
identifying that necessarily.
Sounds good.
They came from you. So
Fair enough.
with that, Ms. McNabb, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Crystal, do you have any reason to believe that these come from Ms. Morrissey?
Yes, I didn't receive them before the PPO and now I've started receiving them. I will say that after the 2 court dates ago with her, I haven't received any since then.
Okay.
But right following the court date that day, I did receive one. Again, if I had all of that for the evidentiary hearing.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. No further redirect.
Very good. Okay, all right, then you may step down from the witness stand, Ms. Ranger. Any additional witnesses or evidence, Ms. McNabb?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call Ms. Stephanie Farr, who should be in the waiting room.
Very well.
She is in. Ms. Farr, can you please unmute and turn your camera on?
Did that work?
Yes, we can see you. And Ms. Farr, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you. You may proceed, Ms. McNabb.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your name is Stephanie Farr?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and Ms. Farr, how do you know Ms. Ranger?
I work with her, work for her.
In what capacity?
I nanny. I'm her assistant. I do all kinds of things for her.
All right. Were you present at her home on June 1st of 2025?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
All right, and could you please walk me through what happened that day?
I was in the basement. I could hear Lexi talking, and then I could hear Crystal's voice. And I had came upstairs and I just seen a gray Bronco pulling away from Crystal Ranger's house.
Okay. Did you hear anybody shout anything from the vehicle? Or
I did not. I did not.
and I'm gonna show you a aerial street view. Whereabouts would you say Ms. Morrissey's car was sitting?
I can't
I
see a
didn't
street.
share. I apologize. I thought I had it continue to share. I did not.
It was pulling down that main road
Okay, so like here?
towards the, yes, ma'am.
So like they
Yes.
were leaving.
Yes,
Okay. But they were right about here.
yes.
Okay.
Close enough I could see Bronco on the back and it was gray.
All right. And were you able to see a license plate?
I seen it. I don't remember what the numbers on it were. I do remember there was like a sticker, a shoe of some sort, it looked like, in one of the corners on a window.
Weird, I don't
All
have
right.
it. Don't have it.
All right, Your Honor, I would like to share something as proposed Exhibit 2. Ms. Farr, is this a true and accurate representation of the Bronco you saw that day?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Your Honor, I'd like to move for admission as Exhibit 2.
Any objection to exhibit number 2, Ms. Morrissey?
As I had stated in the first one, when I said I was not guilty, I was within like 300 feet. I did drop my process server off, far enough, for her to be able to walk to the door, and I was parked completely down the street. To the extent that one of the neighbors actually came outside, I was parked down so far, they thought I needed something. So
Okay,
like I
but are
said,
you objecting? I mean, the objection I'm trying to get you just on
I'll
this
go
one
into the door
photo.
and leave.
Is there anything about it that makes it untrue or,
The what?
you know, like it's been faked or something along those
It's a
lines?
depiction of a picture that looks similar to your vehicle. Is that a true?
Yes, it is. It is. It looks zoomed in. I was not close to the house, but that is my Bronco.
No,
Absolutely.
that's not your Bronco.
No, it is.
Is it?
Yeah,
All
that's my
right.
Bronco.
Okay,
It
and I do
looks
hear
zoomed
you're
in,
getting
Your
some
Honor.
advice. Who do you have with you there, Miss Morrissey?
It's my witness. Sorry, she can't say anything, right, Your Honor?
That's correct. She shouldn't
Oh,
be
I'm
helping
sorry.
you answer, but it sounds like you believe that that is an accurate picture of the back of your Bronco.
It looks zoomed in, but yes, I did say I dropped off my processor within like 3, 4, maybe probably even 500 feet from the house. I made sure to not get close. That
Okay.
was, and like I said, we didn't stop. She literally got out to process serve. I parked all the way down the street on the right of her cul-de-sac.
All right. Well, I will accept the evidence at that then as
Absolutely.
the back of the car.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. And then, Ms. Farr, are there any ring cameras or anything of that nature?
I do know she has them on her home.
Okay. And do you have any?
Picture zoomed in.
All right, so you heard her daughter, you heard Miss Ranger's daughter, and you heard Crystal talking.
Yes, ma'am.
And-
They were on a video Zoom call.
Okay. And then you went upstairs and you saw the Bronco pulling away.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I have no further questions.
Ms. Morrissey, do you have any cross-examination questions for Ms. Farr?
I do. I would like the specs on that picture because it looks far zoomed in. It does not look like an accurate representation of how close I was to the house. So I'd like the specifications of the picture, Your Honor, if I can, because I didn't object to the fact or say
To
I
the photo
didn't drop
itself,
off.
I understand.
Yes,
Ms.
it
Morse,
looks very zoomed in.
yeah, Ms. Farr, did you take the picture?
I did not.
Do you have any idea who did take the picture?
It was her daughter.
Okay, all right. And so you can't say at this point whether that picture was zoomed in. Did you ever see it in its original format when it was snapped on the phone?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. It doesn't sound like she can answer that. It would have to be the daughter who snapped the photo as to the enlargement. Any other questions, Ms. Morrissey?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Very good. Then thank you. Ms. Farr, did you observe, was the vehicle, when you observed it, was it in the drive or was it on the street?
It was on the street pulling away, driving out of the like cul-de-sac.
Okay. And as far as you know, is that a private driveway? Is it for the residents only or is it a public road?
Residents only, I believe.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses, Ms. McNabb?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Very good. Then do you have any witnesses, Ms. Morrissey?
I do. In terms of, this is Denise. She was my process server.
Okay.
Again, so you have to go down the street, of course, extremely far away from the home.
Well, it sounds
I
like do you want to testify first, Ms. Morrissey, and then have your process server talk?
Yes, I apologize. Yes.
Okay, let me have you swear you in. If you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
Very good. You may proceed.
So as I stated in my first plea, not guilty, I did explain to you that I was within 300 to 500 feet. To my understanding, unless I was going to unsafely reverse the car, I had to go to the end as far as I could. And when I say end, I do not mean close to Crystal's home, and to where my vehicle was physically able to turn. I did not stop. My process server, I didn't put my car in park. My process server got out of my passenger door, very far away from the home. She had to walk, and she can testify for that, a certain distance to even get to the home. As I had no desire to be by the home, nor would I ever take the chance of violating the PPO. So my process server got out of the vehicle and I turned the vehicle around the only way that you could go around in the cul-de-sac and parked down all the way at the end of her street. Like I said, it was in front of a neighbor's house, and they even came out and they were like, do you need something? And I just had explained that I needed to park there for a minute, and she said, no problem. So I was not within a certain amount of feet from the home, nor was anybody cussing profanity. So my witness, Denise, will explain that situation as well, please.
My question for you, Ms. Morrissey, did you ever pull into the driveway?
Never, not once,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Not into Ms.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
All right, very good. Let me see if there are any cross-examinations from Ms. McNabb for you, Ms. Morrissey, Ms. McNabb.
Just very
Absolutely.
briefly, Your Honor, Ms. Morrissey, I'm gonna bring back up that street view again. And so when you say you were parked all the way down at the end, where all the way down at the end? Over
Within,
like,
I would say within 3,000 feet of her home. So again, you would have to zoom in on that picture, because within, I would say, I don't know, she had to walk all the way down the street. So
So
you
were
tell
you-
me how many feet that is. I do not believe that that's an accurate representation of the street. That to me is not. An aerial view is not gonna work in terms of a street that's probably only less than a quarter of a mile in length and
Okay,
only
so-
has a one way. So no, I object to that.
okay, but were you in this part of the street where it's long, or were you in the T portion here?
I was never in the T portion. I turned around at the minute that you could turn around. I was never in the T portion. There was no need for me to go in the T portion, only to the extent that I could turn my vehicle. So however what degree it requires to turn the vehicle around, yes, that would be, I mean, unless I'm gonna put the car in reverse, and I certainly don't think that that would have been safe in an area with children. The car
Okay,
was never parked.
So it was never parked. You turned it around right around here and proceeded back out proceeded back out the long part of the T. Yeah. So you came down the long part of the T, you turned around here where you could turn around and then proceeded back out the long part of the T.
Yes, so if you come down the street, you're gonna see, if you're coming down the street, okay? So you wanna put your arrow to the right from this perspective, okay? Yep, keep going, keep going. Okay, go to the left, maybe one house. Go maybe one house further. Okay, a little up a little bit. So see those two trees? Nope, you're way too far. You're way too far. Yes, I parked literally all the way down the street, literally.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions.
I did, Ms. Morrissey, when you went into that drive, are there signs that you saw that indicate that it's a private drive or residents only, anything
Well,
along those lines?
You know, Your Honor, I was gonna think about that. I don't think that it did, but I can't say with 100% certainty. And like I said, it's not like I would go back to check that, but that is something, Your Honor, that I would be interested in someone finding out.
Okay, all right, but you didn't,
I
as
did
you
not see
approach
any
that
private
kind of
drive.
one way in and one way out, you didn't
No,
see a
I did
sign?
not, Your Honor. I did not. No, I did not see that.
Okay, all right, those are all my questions. Any further testimony you'd like to give, Ms. Morrissey?
Yes, I would just like my witness Denise to also testify to what happened and what occurred on that day.
Very
When she
good. Let me swear in Denise, and if you could put Denise on camera, please, and you'd raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you'd state and spell your name for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Denise Diane Smith, DENISE DIANE SMITH.
Thank you, ma'am. And you may proceed with your questions, Ms. Morrissey.
Denise, when I dropped you off, did you get out of the car several feet? I would say maybe within 3,000 feet. Yeah.
Don't press it.
Send a voicemail. Sorry, they keep calling. I'd say within 300 or more feet, to the extent that I was far enough away to literally only be able to turn the car before you even got out of the car, didn't even park the car
No, you
before you
didn't
could
park
go
the
up.
car. You drove me out, dropped me off. You didn't park it. In fact, I opened the door prematurely and jumped out because I was anxious to get there. And then you drove away quite a far distance away. I walked up to the door, rolled up the subpoena and put it in the doorknob, rang the bell, turned around, walked away.
And how far did you have to walk down the street to get to my car?
Quite a ways. I would say at least half a block.
Did you yell profanity like Crystal did say in the immediate one at her daughter Lexi while she was in Australia?
Nothing was said. Nothing was said.
Thank you. Thank you, Denise. That'll be it for today, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any cross-examination questions, Ms. McNabb?
Yes, Your Honor. Oh, could you put the camera back on Ms.
Yeah, it
Smith,
should
please?
still be on Denise here. There we go. Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you. So Ms. Smith, you said you kind of jumped out of the car because you were really anxious.
Yeah.
where were you dropped off? And I have my little map here.
Before we even.
Well, it wasn't in the driveway, I know that much. It was before you get to as she turned around, it was right at the T.
Okay, so just because I'm a visual learner.
Sure, honey.
So right around here is where you hopped out, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and then she
Not
went.
even that close though, like as soon as you could turn.
Your
So
Honor,
you're
I
taking
need
your
the witness
arrow.
to testify.
Okay, sorry.
Right there, yes.
Yeah, so like right here,
Yes,
turn around, she went back down here.
yes, yes.
Park. Okay. All right. And then, sorry, I'm just trying to find. And it's your testimony that Ms. Morrissey never shouted anything or made any gestures or anything towards the house or anybody in it.
That's correct, and neither did I.
Right. Okay. Where did that go? I swear. Apologies. One issue with technology is trying to keep everything straight. Figure out which thing is which. All right. So Ms. Smith, I'm going to show you a video that I'd like marked as proposed exhibit 3. I click here to share, and then I click here. And I just want you to confirm, is this an accurate representation of what happened while you were at the, so is that you coming up the walk?
We can't see it, Ms.
I
McNabb.
can't see it, honey.
Oh, my Lord. Okay. Ah, technology. All right. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can.
All right. Is that you coming up the walk in the clothes you were
Yes.
wearing on that day?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Your Honor, I'd like to move to have this admitted as exhibit 3.
Any objection, Ms. Morrissey, to number 3, or Ms. Morris, I'm sorry.
That is Denise Smith. I did not walk up with her, but that is her, correct.
Okay, so
person that-
you agree it's an accurate videotape, I guess.
Yes, if she says that that's how she presented it, yes. I
Very
believe
well.
what she's telling us, Your Honor, yes.
I'll allow it to be admitted as an exhibit.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I have no further. Ms. Smith, when you pulled in when Ms. Morrissey was driving you in, did you see any signs that indicated that this was a private street or for residents only?
No, ma'am.
Okay, but it is in the Ledgestone condos.
I don't know what it's called.
Okay, but it's in a condo development? Lots of
They
the
were
same-
condos there, yes.
Okay, lots of the same kind of house in one little spot space?
Yeah. I'd call them townhomes, but you can call them condos.
All right, thank you. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
All right, and Ms. Smith, you knew to go to that address because you knew the house number, and that's why you picked that door and that individual
Yes.
residence to go to. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep. Any follow-up questions, Ms. Morris?
Yes, so obviously the address was on the paperwork, but Your Honor, at first I will say that this was something I didn't want, let's say per se, on my record. But I would like to keep the PPO in place.
Okay, well, we're not gonna do that right now. That's more
Okay.
for you can include that in your closing argument if you wish. I was just inviting any more questions you had for Ms. Morris. Or I'm sorry, Ms. Smith, getting my names
Oh, I'm
crossed.
sorry. Okay, I'm confused. Sorry, Your Honor. No, not at this time.
Okay, very good then, Ms. Smith. You may step down from the witness stand. And do you have any additional witnesses or other evidence to present, Ms. Morris?
In terms of my objection or in terms of her coming into my space and calling me?
No, in terms of your objection to the idea that you violated the PPO.
I do not at this time. I am still pleading not guilty, Your Honor. No objections.
Okay, well, then we are to the time for a closing statement. So, Ms. McNabb, I'll let you go first.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think we've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that no matter how briefly it happened, Ms. Morrissey did appear at Ms. Ranger's home. It's a quick Google search shows you that, the Ledgestone condos, that is a private road. I can't speak to whether or not there were signs there, however. This was obviously very distressing for Miss Ranger and her daughter. I understand that paperwork needs to be served. It needs to be served properly. However, there was no need for Miss Morrissey to be the one driving and dropping off or coming anywhere near that home. So I would ask
Denise
that
does
you.
not drive, ma'am. So I'm objecting to
Okay,
that.
hang on. I'm going to give you a chance, Miss Morrissey, but it's Miss McNabb's opportunity now.
Other arrangements could have been made. So, and I would, especially with that one-way street, with there being the only place to turn is essentially directly in front of Miss Ranger's home. Thank you.
All right, very good. Miss Morris.
Yes, just one moment, please. I guess my last question would be for Miss Ranger. Was she at the home?
Well, I think that's already been answered or
Okay.
Mr.
Okay,
McNabb
sounds
indicated
good.
she was in Australia.
Okay,
That's my understanding.
so I guess my other question would be, have I ever called you, texted you, made you
Well,
feel
we're not doing
threatened?
the questions. She's off the witness stand. This is your closing argument that I shouldn't find you in violation of the PPO.
I do not, if it's pertaining to that, yes, Your Honor, you should not find me in violation of the PPO. No, you should not, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, I have heard the testimony today, and the PPO that I signed back in, it's like May the 1st, I think we entered this, indicated that the following items are prohibited. And that one of them under paragraph 5A is appearing at the residence of the petitioner, which is the one alleged to be violated today, specifically by Miss Morris when she drove her Miss Smith, who was going to serve as process server, to that location and had her drop off a motion to terminate the PPO. And obviously, in order to do that, Miss Smith at her direction did have to enter onto property owned by petitioner. But after all, at the end of the day, she was there to drop off a legal document, which of course you could hire a process server to do as well. But nonetheless, I think it was a wise choice to have an uninvolved person, that is Miss Smith, do the service. Obviously, to go on the property yourself would have violated, and the fact that Miss Morris did not do that herself indicates that she was trying to abide by the terms of the protective order. Further, she's testified today, and though she did drive in the vicinity of that house, and the photo of the back of her car indicates that she was in the vicinity, that she didn't stop in the vicinity only long enough to have Miss Smith come out of the vehicle. And then pulled down, which is a single, access street as far as she thought she could, and then waited by the side of the road for Miss Smith to return. Again, a wise choice not to linger in the area. There were allegations that profanities were shouted or something along those lines, but I can't find that those occurred here beyond a reasonable doubt. So I do, and further, Ms. Morris testified too that even if that might be a private street, she did not notice those markings, which I will note sometimes are very clear and sometimes aren't as clear at the entrance to a private road that would indicate it's for residents only, and in any case are usually owned collectively by the condominium association, obviously not by Miss Ranger herself to the degree it would be considered her property. So I do think it is a close call on this, but I don't think I can find beyond a reasonable doubt that Miss Morris intentionally violated the court's order by serving that motion to terminate, utilizing Miss Smith in the way that she did. She didn't go into the driveway. She didn't linger in front of the house. She didn't try to communicate in any other way. She simply dropped off Miss Smith, who went to the door, rang the door, acted appropriately, delivered the paperwork, left it at the door, and then departed. So I can't find that those would amount to a violation to warrant sanction for violating the protective order. However, protective order does remain in place, and I would caution Ms. Morris, if there are additional documents to serve, I would recommend using a private process server or another party, or who would drive themselves there, so that you aren't even in jeopardy, should that be a private road, of violating the PPO. Because of course, anytime you're seen, and on one hand, you say, well, Miss Ranger wasn't there. Well, it's almost worse that she wasn't there, because then her teenage daughter and Nanny are trying to deal with, gee, this person's not supposed to be here, and it looks like they're here. What do we do about this? To avoid, any future confusion regarding that, since the protective order does remain in place, just simply avoid that location at all times. So consider yourself warned. I gave you a bye this time, but if it happened again, lightning usually does not strike twice in occasions like this. So I would avoid that and figure out a different way to serve legal documents, recognizing that those have to be served, but that there are some different options to have them served, including hiring a process server, even though that does cost money. That does also keep you out of hot water in a situation like this. So I won't find a violation this time, but will be warned, since there has been testimony that it is a private drive, whether well marked or not. You shouldn't even be going down that driveway in the future. Figure out some different way to drop
Absolutely, Your
off
Honor.
documents.
And then, Your Honor, I totally agree. I will choose a different route next time to prevent anything like this. My only concern today is, should I be saving my phone records? Since she has already openly said that I'm calling her under restricted numbers, what would be your suggestion there?
I would
It seems to
suggest
be a
save
pattern
anything
for
that
her.
might be of evidentiary value. If she files another violation
Yeah.
alleging those calls that she's
Yep.
already got, although she does say they are coming from, undisclosed numbers, which are very difficult to identify, and of course, you have to be cautious as well, Ms. Morrissey, because it couldn't be you or anyone that she might construe as being at your direction, i.e. it's not okay to
Yes.
have someone else or a friend call.
Yes, I live
And
alone.
they-
I have one private phone number for business and for grad school. And I'll just make sure, like I continue to do, just to keep all phone records, because I certainly have no desire to communicate or see Ms. Ranger. It's just the
Okay.
best for both of us. Thank you.
I
Your
think
Honor.
that's an excellent idea, just to be safe going forward.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right, with that, we are concluded for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.